This is a request right here. I actually got the request on Monday, and the guy was nice enough to send me all kinds of information. Said, you know what, I'm going to get this done tonight. You guys are getting this on Tuesday. 35-year-old Brad Weaver is a second-generation driver. You probably remember his father, Brian, of course, the Dream Weaver. He is no longer racing, but Brad is. Started racing at age 14, driven IMCA modified, sportsman and modifieds. Couple of dozen wins over the careers in those different divisions. He actually won the King of the Can last year in the sportsman race, driving his dad's number. That's the picture you're seeing, by the way. That's from last year at 5 Mile Points. Let's head on down to Susquehanna, Pennsylvania. Now 35-year-old. That's right. We're all getting old. Brad Weaver joins us. I remember when he was a teenager. How you doing, man?
Doing excellent, Doug. Nice to talk to you again.
Nice to catch up with you. I remember when you were younger, you had a lot of health problems and a lot of issues. How are you doing now?
Doing well. Everything's been good, and just happy to be healthy and able to race.
Yeah, because for a few years there, what did you have again? ALL?
Yeah, ALL, advanced lymphoblastic leukemia.
Sounds pretty serious. How do they fix that?
Well, it was just a lot. It was a lot of chemo and kind of a little bit of trial and error, and then what it finally kind of came down to was a bone marrow transplant.
Oh, and since then you've been fine.
Yes, since the transplant, I've been cancer free.
Nice. I'm so glad to hear that, because I remember thinking at the time, man, this guy's too young to have all this stuff going on. So I really am truly happy for you. And another thing I'm happy about, I was looking through some of the pictures. You got a fiance and a couple of kids. Life is good, huh?
Yeah. Yep. I got a nice fiance and a stepson James and a stepdaughter Aubrey, and
nice.
They're both racing go-karts and happy to be at the racetrack every chance they get.
Tell me it has hurt your ability to race on Saturdays a little bit, because you'd rather go with the stepkids and race with them, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's been a couple nights that I went racing by myself, but it wasn't very much at all. And I really like to watch them race and try to teach them. Last year was their first year, so they kind of needed a lot of support getting going and started. But once they got going, they did pretty good.
Okay.
Both of them finished pretty well in the points. Their daughter got second, and James got fifth. So
nice.
They had a good season for their first season.
Did you kind of teach them similar to how your dad taught you when you were younger?
Oh, no way.
No way.
They would hate me. They would hate me if I taught them like my dad taught me.
Why? How did he teach you? Was it the old school way?
Oh, yes. Yeah, he was much more violent towards me sometimes and angry at me. But he didn't have a lot of patience, and I kind of had to learn that I had to have patience because he didn't. But these guys, they don't get that kind of treatment.
Nice. Glad to hear that. So please say hi to your dad for me, too. He's going to send me his numbers. Hopefully I'll be able to get a hold of Brian soon, and we'll see what's going on with him. So when all the way back in the day, what was the first car you drove?
The first car I ever drove was a 1990 Bicknell that I put together. Actually, it was a 92. I'm sorry. From my dad's. It turned out to be a modified with a guy that helped me out was Bob Chapman. Been a lifetime sponsor since. Put his 358 motor in it, and I raced that for a little bit.
Wow, talk about jumping in the deep end, huh?
Yeah, that was pretty much my dad's approach. Throw me right to the wolves, and then get mad at me when I messed up. But it was good overall.
Yeah, because I know some people do have that train of thought. Why mess with a super stock or a street stock or a 4-cylinder if you want to race modified? Start in a modified, that way you don't pick up any bad habits. Is that what's the word I'm looking for? Is that a good way to prepare somebody? Do you think?
Not in today's day and age.
No.
Anymore. Okay. I don't think so. Just throwing them right into the wolves. I think that, especially at the age I did it. I did it at 14, 15 years old, and I wouldn't recommend it. I didn't know what I was doing out there, and I was more or less just turning laps and kind of getting in people's way at the start. So I would recommend, if you've got a younger person trying to race, get them seat time and experience in something smaller than a modified.
Yeah, or even just a microd, a quarter midget, or a cart like you're doing now,
sure,
right?
Yeah, anything that's not a full blown race car. That's just my opinion. Other people disagree with that, and I don't have a problem with that. But I think some of those people that that disagree with what I had my comments about that. Those kids that they mentioned have also had that experience, but also from the age of 2. So that's why they happen to be so good as, to be in these cars at the young age. But a lot of one of my age, when I was doing it, you didn't really have the money to get experience in a go-kart or anything like that.
Yeah. And it's pre-iRacing.
It was different for me.
I know a lot of these kids, they do iRacing now. They get in the car the first time. They look like they know what they're doing right out of the box.
I remember our best simulator was dirt track racing sprint cars.
I remember that.
on the Rat Bag game, the first Rat Bag game.
Yep. Then there was dirt track racing. They had the late models and the stock cars. Did that actually help?
Yep.
Do you think?
Oh God, I don't think so.
No,
I don't know.
Just something to do then. Okay.
Yeah, it was just something to do, and it was racing, so you could race during the winter or whatever, play.
Yep. How was last year for you? I know you won the King of the Can for the Sportsman, so that was obviously a great thing. How was your season?
My season wasn't bad. I ended up 4th in points, which last year, or the year before, I was 8th in points. So it was four step forward there.
Going in the right direction.
But I was trying to focus on winning a championship, and we had a pretty fast car all year. Just bad luck, wrong time, wrong place, and through the middle of the year. But we were fast all year and showed it kind of at the end. We won the last King of the Can race, and I got a supporter, Mark Terry, that used to race. He came on board about right at kind of at the beginning of the season. He's been helping me along, and then we teamed up for this year. So he bought a car and a whole bunch of stuff, and he's geared up, and we're ready to go for 2023 here.
What are the plans for 2023?
We're actually pretty ambitious. Hopefully we can manage it all, but we're gonna run Penn-Can with Mark's car, and then hit up Afton when we can.
If they move to Saturday now,
the kids racing,
guys. So yeah.
Yep. Afton on Saturdays when we got a chance to, and then also we're gonna try to hit the 6 Deo North Sportsman Tour races, and then if there's rumblings about 5 Mile potentially opening up and running some races, I might do that as well.
Yeah.
But between Mark's car and my car that I had last year, we'll have 2 pretty stout pieces, I think. And, I ran Mark's car a little bit at the end of the year after points were done, and we did pretty well with it. So looking forward to 2023. I got to thank Mark Terry a lot for all the help that he's come on board with here in the last few months. So
are the cars ready?
Big shout out to him. Yep. We're pretty much ready to go with my car here, and just doing a couple things here with Mark's, scaling, squaring things up, that type of stuff. Nothing major. Mounting tires and getting prepped.
Nice. And at this point, do you come into a season with goals? I mean, is the Penn-Can Championship something you'd like to get and put on your resume?
Oh, absolutely. I think just for us and our budget, I think managing the races that we go to and not trying to overdo.
True.
What we've got a bit of an ambitious schedule. We might have to adjust that schedule, but
we have 2 cars though, so that'll help, obviously.
Yeah. 2 cars will definitely help and definitely allow us to do a little bit more with a little easier workload. But a Penn-Can Championship is definitely the main focus, and has been here for the last 2 years. So
okay, under a minute to go. By the way, do you remember this picture that's up there that you and I were just talking about? Do you remember that day at 5 Mile?
I'm not. If it's a new, towards the beginning of the year picture, possibly. But if it's one towards the end of the year where the car's kind of beat up and whatnot,
it looks kind of beat up here. So
yeah,
the side panel's been stomped on a few times with boots. You can tell that. So.
Yeah, it's probably towards the end of the year at 5 Mile, that last race that they had. Gotcha. I was driving Mark Terry's car actually, which is it's an orange 26.
So it's not that
the
race
first
then, so. Hey, I hate to do this, but I have to cut you off there, Brad, because we are out of time. So I will get back in touch with Brad. When I get down to Penn Can, I'll make sure I give you a call. Thanks to whoever did this. Hit the Blue E guys and subscribe. You take care of yourself, sir. I'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug.